The following segment is sponsored by Eastern Title and Settlement and the Mortgage Link. The real estate top performers have important information about how to navigate the housing market's inventory shortage. So we are joined by some very special guests. We have Janice and Jackie Valois from the Valois Group of Compass. Also, Josh Greene is back. He is the president of Eastern Title and Settlement. And Carey Riel is here. He is the senior loan officer from the Mortgage Link. And you have a special program of today for us. We usually do a deal of the day. This is different here, Carey.
We do, yeah. With this industry right now, with everything that's changing, a lot of times people don't want to sell their property. So cash out, consider doing that. We're wanting to talk to the veterans out there and let them know you can get 100% of the value of your property by doing a cash out refinance. You can utilize those monies for any debt consolidation. Maybe you want to do some home renovations. Maybe you want to take a vacation, tuition, things of that nature. So we just want to highlight you can get up to 100%. And for any other homeowners that are out there, you can do the same thing. Not 100%, you've got other guideline parameters, but give us a phone call as an alternative to selling your property. Maybe you want to do a renovation, so just consider that.
We like that. Okay, thank you. Well, we have some experts here today. I love this subject. I'm always looking for houses, thinking of maybe possibly moving, but the inventory is so low. So how do we get around that as a buyer especially? Is there a tip? Janice, we'll start with you. What's like your #1 tip right now?
Well, what we do for our clients is figure out where they want to live, and then we send letters to the sellers, and we're like, you don't have to get your home perfect, show ready. We don't care if there's toys all around or anything like that, or buyers just want to get in your house and see if we could make it work. And we are having very good success with that.
So you write a letter and you go to the house you want to buy and say, here you go.
Yeah, so we
subdivision too, because a lot of people know especially in Montgomery County, because the schools are so great, people know what areas they want to be in.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to figure out exactly what neighborhood they want to be in, and then we say, hey, we have a ready, willing, and able buyer. Like she said, don't have to get your house ready or anything, let us through.
Do you have inside information though into like, this person might be wanting to sell, or are you really just choosing houses?
We do, because I've been selling for over 20 years in our market, and I have a good relationship with all the agents, and you know, we have mutual respect, and we tell each other, hey, I have this coming up, or I can make a phone call or send out an email or a text, and we're social media, and you know, just ask them, and you'd be surprised. The agent says, hey, yeah, I have a seller who wants to sell, and you know, sometimes it's a divorce or some, you know, other reason that, or they own a company and they don't want their employees to know that they're moving, so they like the off-market idea.
Okay. And we often go into like a subdivision that somebody likes and say, you know, oh, this was built in 2000. Only 10% have sold since 2000. So there's probably a lot of sellers that are maybe on the edge of getting out.
From the time.
Yeah, and that might be enticing to them, and they might not have done anything since they bought in 2000. But we're like, hey, you know, our buyer will look beyond that.
Wow.
So what do you guys do when you find a seller that wasn't planning on selling, and then they sell? What do you do about finding them a place to buy now? Since
now we
there's
have
no
another
places
problem.
to buy.
Usually they already know where they're going. Very rarely do we get a seller that doesn't know where they're going.
And with COVID, a lot of people can retire earlier, and they're going to maybe their Florida home or their Delaware, you know, other residence that they've owned a little bit earlier than they planned on.
Yeah,
because they now can work from home and maybe retire in a couple years.
Does this, so you also talked about the private exclusive properties. Does that also do the letter thing, or is that a different, that's something else, all right.
Compass. So Compass, we have about 1,500 agents that have the opportunity to list on a private Compass exclusive listing. So if you were selling your home on this platform, you wouldn't be able to find the address yourself. You would have to have a Compass agent send it to you. So it gives the seller the peace of mind and the privacy that they don't have to blast it out to the market, because let's say the outside's a mess and they know they need to do all this stuff, but it's like, let's just pop it in there, see what happens. And that way the buyers too have a chance to kind of not have a huge competition out there with
the problem,
billion other buyers.
Don't get involved with the bidding wars and things of that nature.
And it lets us test the price too. Sometimes we put it in there knowing that we may end up in the multiple listing service, but you know, we put it in there and just kind of test the price and the interest.
And because of COVID too, a lot of people are working from home and their kids are home, and it's a whole different ball game than before. So it's easier to let 2 or 3 people through from, you know, if you're working with a Compass agent, not have a ton of buyers come through and say, if you give us our price, great, why do we need to go on the market?
Okay.
So we have just access to about, I think, over 50 homes in Montgomery County right now, and then about 150 in DC that are just exclusive to Compass.
And also, you know, higher end sellers don't want people coming into their house. So they want to do that pre-market so that people can see that they're looking to sell and get those exclusive buyers to come buy those multi-million-dollar homes.
I was gonna multi-million. So these are like at least $5 million homes.
I would
not all
say 3
fine.
million or higher, maybe.
No, we've had,
You know, they got artwork
Oh,
and
it could be.
expensive stuff. They don't want just people
yeah, that's
walking
true.
in.
That's
and,
enticing for them
Open
to not
houses.
have it.
you know,
Okay.
Or maybe their house is a mess and they don't want their neighbor to know how bad it looks inside. They're like, let's list it with the Compass
We need to
agent.
clean this up.
Yeah, 'cause-
yeah.
or they got a bunch of teenagers and dogs running
Yeah,
around.
that too.
You know.
Yeah.
and the days on the market aren't accruing too when it's in the Compass
no
exclusive
negative to it.
database.
Okay.
So that's all.
Inside information. I don't think we've ever talked about this. Unfortunately,
yeah.
I didn't get much to you. We're out of time today. Come back, okay? Come back and we'll talk more about real estate. We do have that special program, though, for veterans. We have it there on your screen. So call now to take advantage of this amazing offer, 833-MTG-LINK, or visit themtglink.com. Also, be sure to follow the Real Estate Top Performers on YouTube to get more advice on buying and selling a home.